Welcome. You are listening to the Louie Minor Show. I am your host, Louie Minor. Today is December 24th, 2022, and let's get started. We'll talk about the most pressing issue right now. On Monday, December 19th, the Bell County Commissioner's Court posted a notice of a special meeting. Now, during the workshop, Commissioner Bobby Woodson had mentioned, he brought up decriminalization. And this is a little bit long story on the Proposition A and decriminalization, and we'll get into that. But right now, what was said was about decriminalization, and that's that he plans on decriminalization, that the district attorney and the county attorney approached the commissioner's court and wanted to discuss with them the possibilities, and that was it. And that they were going to hold a special meeting on Thursday at 1:30. Later on in the morning, probably around 11 o'clock, the commissioner's court released the public meeting, and I'll read the agenda items. Agenda item number 1 is the invocation. Agenda item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America and Texas. Item 3, closed session. Consult with attorney relating to pending or contemplated litigations against a municipality. And then item number 4, discuss and take action on litigation against a municipality. So let's go all the way back to, I want to say, January 2021. Yeah, January 2021. I was approached by the Killeen NAACP to discuss with the organization, a group that wanted to discuss a marijuana ordinance in the city of Killeen. And I said, absolutely. So we set up a meeting. At that time, everything was still being done virtual because of COVID. So we did a Zoom meeting. There was multiple people there. I can only speak for myself. But the meeting was with a group called Ground Game Texas, and Julie Oliver and Mike Siegel, who I have come to respect very much. And just, wow, these are two great people and a great organization. But anyways, they mention the pros of marijuana decriminalization. Now, I got back into politics, over a decade ago, whenever I moved back from Washington, D.C. to back to Texas. And back then, whenever I was running, I met Dave Bass, who was and still is a leader in the medical marijuana / medical use movement here in the state of Texas. So that's when I first met him. And I remember people not even wanting to talk, even mention the subject of marijuana in politics. That was a taboo, just 10 years ago. Very, very few people spoke about marijuana. Dave lived in Killeen. I lived in Killeen in Bell County. And so, we knew each other from way back then. But anyways, we'll jump back forward to the meeting. So they mentioned the pros of marijuana decriminalization, and I mentioned that I would do a open records request to the City of Killeen and get the number of arrests for 2018, 2019, 2020, and year to date 2021. And it was amazing once we got that information, what it showed us. The City of Killeen, their marijuana arrests. Now, it didn't say if there were any other charges associated with these arrests. There very well could have been, but all we asked for was misdemeanor marijuana arrest. And to me, in my opinion, the data that I received was damning. That a majority of the rest, almost 80%, are black and brown people of color here in the city of Killeen. So, armed with that information, I felt confident that something was wrong in the Killeen Police Department. And I wanted to act. I wanted to get involved, and I wanted to change what was happening here. And the decriminalization petition made sense to me, among the other supporters. So we figured out what we needed to do. We game planned it. We created a petition. We launched our petition, and our goal was to get 2,000 votes, over 2,000 votes. We needed 25% of the last mayoral election, and that was about 2,500 signatures. So we canvassed. We had to make the timeline work. We needed the timeline to coincide with the potential of getting it on the November ballot, so we could have a majority of the voters that live in Killeen vote on it. But when we started looking at other cities and the threshold level for signatures, we went ahead and added Harker Heights to our efforts. A lot of people live in Harker Heights, come in and out of Killeen, and vice versa. And the number of signatures that was required was relatively low. It was only like 300. So we added Harker Heights to that effort. And our efforts paid off. We gathered thousands of signatures. We attended multiple events. We talked to young, old, black, white, Asian. There was no discriminating, no targeting. We went to public events. We took clipboards. We knocked on doors. And that's where we got our signatures from. That's who signed it. There was no confusion on what they were signing. There was no confusion on what we were asking for. Everyone supported that. Now, once we got enough signatures, the next step was to submit it to the city secretary so they can verify the signatures, verify the petition is a true petition, a valid petition. And that was done. We did it. And that created the next step. The next step that needed to happen was to present that to both city councils in Harker Heights and in Killeen. And both of those cities, both of those municipalities had a choice. They could either accept the petition ordinance that we did, that the citizens petitioned for, or they could amend it which they did not, or they could deny the petition. The latter two, amending it or flat out denying the ordinance petition, made it go to the next uniform election on the ballot, on the calendar. That next election was going to be November 8th, 2022. And that's, in fact, what happened. Nothing was done. Both city councils and their minds believed that this was an illegal ordinance going against the state of Texas, and they voted no, putting it to the voters to decide on what we wanted in our cities, how we wanted our police to police the community, what we wanted them to focus on. So that's what we did. Later, during November 8th, when the election results came in, I was surprised. I knew it would pass. I didn't know by how much, but almost 70%, 69.45 of the voters that came out to vote voted in favor of decriminalization in Killeen. In Harker Heights, it was 64% of the voters that came out voted in favor of decriminalization. It was a win. All of the hard work that we done, all of the time that we spent talking to voters, having forums, talking to TV stations, talking to the paper, having forums, community forums. A lot of effort was invested, a lot of sweat equity was put into getting this on the ballot, getting the information out there to the voters, and getting this passed. This is what the voters wanted. This is what they voted for. And it was a win. I was ready to move on because I was on the ballot for county commissioner. I won that seat. I'll be getting sworn in January 3rd, 2023 at 9 in the morning. So I was ready to move on and focus on that. I thought my job was done. All of us, all of the supporters, all of the leaders in this movement locally, we thought our job was done, that we could start focusing on the holidays, focusing on the next chapter, the next year, 2023. But that's not what happened. That is not what happened in Harker Heights. That's not what happened in Killeen. We got word that Harker Heights was planning to canvass the vote because that's what had to happen first. Both cities had to canvass the vote. And what canvassing the vote means is they get the readout, the official readout from the county, because the county is the organization that it was responsible for carrying out the elections, and they vote to accept the election results. And that's what happened, effectively making Proposition A to decriminalize marijuana in Harker Heights and in Killeen law by city ordinance. But shortly after that, they announced, at least in Harker Heights, they put out an agenda to consider repealing the marijuana ordinance. During the same time in Killeen, they canvassed the vote, making decriminalization a city ordinance. the chief of police issued a special order to his law enforcement that after the election, that the Killeen Police Department will no longer arrest for simple possession of marijuana, Class A or Class B. I applaud the police chief for doing that. I applaud the city manager because he had a decision in this as well, and he went along with this. It was brought out, I believe, in open records by the Killeen Daily Herald. City manager said exactly what I've been saying. His reasoning behind letting this ordinance go through. Nothing in state law says that you have to arrest everyone for this violation. Nothing. Show me where it says in the law. It says it's a law. It's a violation of state law to have marijuana in any amounts. That it's a Class B at a minimum, Class A, then felony level above 4 ounces. The law says that. It doesn't say you have to arrest everyone 100% of the time, all the time. It doesn't say that. Officers have discretion. I've seen them use it. I used to be an officer. I've used it. And that was the reasoning. That was the sound judgment behind all of this. Now, a lot of the naysayers, the opposition to Proposition A, to decriminalization here, they're going to tout state law and how it is supreme to any city ordinance. They can't go against each other. And all their reasoning sounds justified. But there's a flaw to their reasoning. If you think about it, right now in the state of Texas, we have compassionate use, medical marijuana for certain illnesses. Marijuana is still illegal on the federal level. So if you think about it, the state of Texas is telling the federal government, who's supposed to have the supreme law of the land, that no, we're not going to follow your law. We're not going to listen to the United States of America. We're not. The state of Texas will not. So we're going to license marijuana for medical use because that's what our citizens want. That's what the legislatures voted for. And that's what happened. That's what happened on the state level for the federal side. And this is what's happening on the city, municipal level. We're not saying decriminalization is not legalization. We're not saying that it's legal to have marijuana. We're not saying it's legal to use marijuana or it's legal to sell marijuana here in Killeen and in Harker Heights. What we're saying is that if you get caught with marijuana, or you're in a car with people that have marijuana, then you're not going to go to jail and have that on your record. Something that can affect your life forever for a simple joint, a simple roach, a dime bag can ruin a young person's life forever. It will affect their housing opportunities. It will affect their educational opportunities. It'll affect their employment opportunities. Just to have the arrest, you don't even need a conviction. Just an arrest on your record will show up. So, yeah, this was important. And I think we're on the right side of history. Every state that is touching Texas has medical marijuana. New Mexico has fully recreational marijuana. I've been to Seattle many times. I used to be stationed up there. But right now, you could go into a dispensary. It's like going into a liquor store and buy pot just for recreational use. All different kinds of, vaping, smoking, edibles. It's a lot what they have over there. But the thing is that we wanted to protect our young people. That's why I got involved. That's why I will continue to fight, because I don't think it's right, especially in Killeen with the number of arrests. And we'll see what happens. On Thursday, I will be there. Representatives from Ground Game Texas will be there. And I'm going to let them know that this power grab, trying to take the votes away from citizens, trying to tell citizens that you were duped, trying to tell citizens that you didn't know what you were voting for. They absolutely knew what they were voting for. Even if you didn't know all the legal terms in the ordinance, decriminalizing marijuana, keeping people out of jail for marijuana, that is very simple. That's what people voted for, to keep people out of jail. Our jail is overcrowded now. We need to keep people for nonviolent crimes out of jail. This is my speech from the December 22nd special meeting.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners, staff, and viewers at home. My name is Louie Minor. I'm a Killeen resident. I was an elector for Proposition A and Bell County Commissioner-elect for Precinct 4. On November 8th, 2022, a total of 22,111 voters of Killeen and Harker Heights passed an ordinance to decriminalize marijuana. This ordinance prohibited misdemeanor marijuana arrests. It protected people of color who are disproportionately affected by an arrest. A marijuana arrest will affect your employment opportunities, your education opportunities, and your housing opportunities. The City of Killeen adopted this ordinance with an amendment, and Harker Heights City Council voted to repeal the ordinance. On December 6, 2022, organizers and supporters of Proposition A delivered a petition for referendum with over 500 signatures to repeal Harker Heights City Council's actions in less than 2 weeks. If you truly believe this ordinance is illegal because the state says it's illegal, then you must believe that the state's compassionate use of medical marijuana legislation is illegal and breaking federal law. Where in the law that the district attorney and county attorney are citing does it say you have to maximize enforcement? You don't see the district attorney or the county attorney out prosecuting medical marijuana cases, even though it's still illegal according to federal law. Ask the district attorney and county attorney how many cases they plea deal to get a conviction and use prosecutorial discretion. Do not set the precedence of this county telling cities what ordinances they can pass or repeal. How many times have I heard that the county is only responsible for unincorporated areas in the county? You do not repair the roads or patrol inside cities, but now you want to legislate inside cities and take away local control. I was also told that you may hire an outside firm to bring this litigation against the city. Why do you want to carry the water for the district and county attorney? Do they not have the ability to bring this litigation themselves? You and I are elected and answerable to the voters, and this ordinance was passed bipartisan support by a margin of 69.46% in Killeen and 64.02% in Harker Heights, respectively. Let us wait and see what changes come out of the legislative session. I'm against this ordinance adverse action today, and I will be against this tomorrow. Thank you.
We are back. And despite my rousing, persuasive speech, the county commissioners went ahead and voted on an authorization to litigate. Now I'm going to read the authorization. Whereas the chief of police of the city of Killeen, Texas, a municipality within Bell County, promulgated Special Order 22-07 to eliminate low-level marijuana enforcement on November 10th, 2022. And whereas Killeen City Council ratified Ordinance 22-089 on December 6, 2022, limiting police officers employed by the city of Killeen from enforcing marijuana laws, including citation, arrest, and testing of substances. Be it resolved by the Commissioners of Bell County, Texas, that the Bell County Attorney is authorized to file suit against the city of Killeen and its agents to enforce Texas Local Government Code Section 370.003 by 1. Seeking declaratory relief in district court against the city of Killeen's actions as unconstitutional, and 2. Seeking injunctive relief in district court against the city of Killeen from enforcing either the special order or ordinance, and 3. Seeking injunctive relief against the city of Killeen from punishing police officers for enforcing marijuana laws under the Health and Safety Code, Penal Code, and Code of Criminal Procedure, and 4. Seeking declaratory relief authorizing peace officers licensed by the state of Texas to fully enforce marijuana laws as it is their duty to prevent and suppress crime under Section 2.13 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Passed and approved by the Bell County Commissioners Court on this, the 22nd day of December, 2022. And attached are all the signatures for the county commission. So that is the authorization to litigate, to sue the city of Killeen for enacting an ordinance that they believe to be unconstitutional. So we are about to begin a journey here marijuana journey uh, where we start snaking through the court system, and it's definitely a gray area, and one that I believe a lot of it was brought up by the legalization of hemp here in the state of Texas. You may or may not know the only distinguishable difference between hemp and marijuana is the THC concentration. And I believe the THC concentration for marijuana versus hemp is 0.35%. So that has to be tested. It looks like marijuana, it smells like marijuana. The only difference is the THC concentration. So here we go. We have a lawsuit. There is also another order. Well, not order. It's seeking an attorney general opinion that came out of Hayes County, where San Marcos is located. San Marcos passed decriminalization ordinance November 8th as well by a margin of 80%. And the city of San Marcos implemented their proposition. I don't know if it was Proposition A, but implemented their proposition wholeheartedly, no delay. And the outgoing district attorney, Republican, who lost to a Democrat, decided to seek this AG's opinion during his lame duck session, going out the door as a thank you to the citizens for their support of him, I guess. So what can we expect to see? I'm assuming that the district attorney is going to have to, or the county attorney is going to have to file in a court. No district court judge in Bell County will probably hear it. It'll probably have to be a visiting judge from another district, probably a couple of courts or counties removed from Bell County, and we'll have to see what they say. And then if it goes our way or not, I'm sure whatever side decides, it'll go to the Third Court of Appeals. So will all this happen, and will a decision be made before our Texas legislature meets, adopts laws, passes laws that get sent to the governor for signature? I don't think so. I believe that the judicial system runs a lot slower than the state legislature, at least at this point, that we're referencing this time period. But I know all the attorneys are getting prepared. Arguments are getting drafted, and we will see how this proposition, how it goes. If a city can exercise discretion. Keep in mind, the city of Austin passed a proposition very similar to Proposition A, or if not the exact same proposition that we have now in the city of Killeen. Nobody sued them. No suit has came up that I'm aware of, and things are trucking along fine in the state's capital. But now here we are. Little old Bell County is going to have to be dragged kicking and screaming, I guess, or we're going to be wrong. And that's okay. At a very minimum, our city, state officials, county officials know where the voting public stands on marijuana. I believe that'll push change. It'll affect change in our legislature this session. You know, a lot of our opponents of decriminalization said if you want to change the marijuana laws, this isn't the place to do it. Drive to Austin. Go and talk to the legislature in Austin. That's where change is made, not here at the city level. I guess they're expecting a top-down approach. But what we're doing is called grassroots organizing, bottom up governance. So I guess now we have an issue that cannot be ignored by the state. 5 cities of various sizes, from an estimated 156,000 in the city of Killeen to Harker Heights, about 35,000 population, to the small city of Elgin, which I don't know their population, but I'd be surprised if it's over 5,000. So now our judicial branch has to get in action. Our legislative branch is in action. Keep in mind, y'all may know this or not, but during the last legislative session, the Texas House voted to decriminalize marijuana. Bipartisan support. Republicans, Democrats, even Killeen's state representative, a Republican, voted to decriminalize marijuana. It failed to get picked up in the Senate, so nothing happened. Even the governor of the state of Texas said during the last race, stated he does not believe that people should be getting arrested, spending time in jail for low-level marijuana offenses. Now, I have not heard anything come out of the governor's office with him saying he supports decriminalization, but I have heard him say that he would be in favor of lowering penalties. So instead of a Class A or Class B, it's more of a Class C, an equivalent to a speeding ticket or no seatbelt. So many bills have been filed. The legislature convenes, I believe, January 10th. And then we're going to be off to the races. I'm sure I will be down in the Capitol testifying on decriminalization, on local control. You know, that's one thing. I've been going to county commissioners training since I'll be getting sworn in. And one of the things that I've heard multiple times, local control. The state is taking away local control, unfunded mandates, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that. Almost what Bell County is doing to the city of Killeen, saying that you have to arrest everyone. We don't even have room in our jail now. We're building a new one. And they're telling the city of Killeen, no, you got to arrest everyone. So that's where we're at. More to come. Thank you for listening to my very first podcast. I think I did okay. You tell me. Shoot me a message. Let me know how I did. Is this informational? I plan to do these weekly. Let you know what's going on in and around the county, down in Austin. As I get better doing this, I plan on having guests and just educating you about local government, how it all interacts with each other, how your tax dollars go into the equation, because that's what you care about. Where's my money going? Why am I paying so much? And why am I getting so little in return? So, like, subscribe, shoot me a message. You can think of anything that you want to go over. Let me know. I look forward to hearing from you. And we are out of here.